What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Blueprint, guys. We're going to talk about Bitcoin today. We're going to be talking about some of these other coins like JASMY, ZBCN. I promise I will give some um, project predictions or coin predictions based on some intel, stuff like that. So, what we're going to uncover, guys, is how Bitcoin is essentially changing the game for the United States and other countries, and it's all spaced and circled around how Bitcoin can replace stable coin or not replace stable coins, but replace gold as a standard of value, becoming a central bank for the next wave of technology and the next wave of currency. So we're gonna get into it, guys. We're gonna talk about this and we're gonna dive into why Bitcoin is a perfect base layer for a future in a stable coin ecosystem. So essentially what my mind is telling me, I've been trying to scramble and get my mind wrapped around this because I've heard it for so long. I didn't really understand it, but now that I'm starting to understand it, it makes a lot of sense why we're getting these fluctuation of prices in Bitcoin and why so many people, as far as big institutional investors, want to buy it all up. So what we're going to do is look at what Bitcoin provides. Bitcoin essentially provides hard monetary policy, such as like a fixed supply and no printing, right? So, inevitably, what needs to happen? They want to drive the price of Bitcoin up to the significant, crazy level, right? If Bitcoin cannot be printed over and over, what can we do? We could adjust the price of Bitcoin. But now, adjusting the price obviously brings a supportive value to stablecoin ecosystems. So, what does that look like? So, if you have any stablecoin that's backed by Bitcoin, um, it's a good thing because essentially you have instant global transfers like zero fees. And etc. But here's the thing. Here's what's so interesting about the market and why I know that we have an altcoin season still to come because right now this is just being laid out and this is just basically a blueprint and a vision that they have in place. So they obviously need to work to making this come to pass, right? So you have USD, Europe, Japan. You notice that everybody's starting to make stable coins, but check this out, right? XRP has a stable coin. They have XRLUSD, I believe it is, which is interesting to me, right? So why are big major projects creating these stable coins? Well, obviously they need something to be tied to in order to bring value. So is fiat really going away? It's a strong possibility. And the way it is, I think that stable coins, because if you think about it, stable coins across the board or have the same value. You could have a stable coin from Japan, you could have a stable coin from Europe, you could have a stable coin from the United States. Basically, what everybody's been speaking on is essentially having a level playing field. And I believe that's what Bitcoin is doing. It's establishing a level playing field across all nations. And why is this is very important because this is telling me that crypto is not going nowhere, but crypto will change indeed. So having the right ecosystem in place is going to be key. So why Bitcoin and backed stable coins can replace fiat while they're cheaper, faster than banks? It's 24/7, near instant, borderless, settled on Bitcoin, not a bank ledger, and settled on XRP, not a bank ledger, settled on XLM. There's a lot of places where money can be settled and tied to a certain nation and tied to a certain continent those things. Not good at economics, but or not economics, but geography. So what does it do? It eliminates the middleman. Stable coins can be self-custody, global access, used without permission, and audited transparently. Governments can issue on CBDCs on Bitcoin rails, right? Instead of reinventing the wheel, a country can issue a digital peso, yen, dollar, USD1, Ripple. Um, all these stable coins are tied to different projects, and that's going to be key to developing part of your ecosystem. And then I keep continue talking about an ecosystem because it's got to work. It's going to work more as a unit versus just going in on one different coin. Um, if you think about it, look at how governments work, right? They create their own currency, but everything has a different value, right? So this is where forex gets eliminated. We're not even going to probably be dealing with foreign exchange. We're probably going to be dealing with all these currencies on a level playing field at one price across the board. So this has already really been utilized and studied. I mean, El Salvador, Argentina, some African nations, private banks in Switzerland, Singapore, a lot of different places. So here's one thing I really wanted to touch on was, Bitcoin does provide energy and hash power, basically, which is supported of the blockchain. Um, the Bitcoin base layer, right, is essentially stablecoin payments, right? Micro transfers, instant global movement, wallets, etc. Right? We have all these utilities that fund or the ability to fund Bitcoin through these through these channels, right? So if you think about it, why would everybody want to boost up Bitcoin to $1 million? Or they a lot of people are saying that Bitcoin is going to $1 million, and these are like big names in investment companies that say that Bitcoin is going to $1 million. But why would it do that? Because they want to utilize it to generate a new source of payment currency. It makes sense. All right. Next thing I wanted to touch on is just getting that understanding. And then the reason why I touched on that is because it's telling me that Bitcoin is not going to go to zero. I think essentially we're going to get maybe into a bear market with Bitcoin, but I think we're going to see some massive price action going into 2026 as things start to change, as the world starts to change, as everybody gets on board and things start to move. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Guys, thank you for jumping into the blueprint, guys. Oh man, I'm so excited for this because I finally feel like we have a platform that we could come here live. This is raw. There is no editing. Like, so if I jack up or I say something stupid, then that's on me, right? Um, but the thing is that live, raw, real is real, right? It's reality. So that means we could have a discussion on here. You guys could talk and let me know how you guys are feeling. And, we obviously will discuss it. But I'm here to bring you guys nothing but the best. I will not steer you wrong. I'm just giving you my opinion on things too. It's not necessarily saying that you have to go out there and buy a bunch of Bitcoin because that's not what I'm doing. I would love to. I would love to buy a bunch of Bitcoin, and I would love to accumulate, at least 100, but the price is just crazy. I mean, 100 Bitcoin is just too much money for anybody that doesn't have millions of dollars sitting around in their bank accounts. But make sure you guys are buying these dips, buy red when there's extreme fear in the market, make sure you're purchasing. All right. Jasmy, of course. Jasmy sitting at 0.07. I think we're seeing some finally nice uptick and Jasmy starting to recuperate from that ugly dip, but ugly dips cause for bigger pockets, right? What I want to jump into right now is, I'm sorry, I'm checking out some of your guys' comments here. Yeah, load up on Dogecoin, guys. I told you when I speak, it's about building ecosystems. And it's not essentially what I think is the best projects for you, but I'm going to talk about the ones that I'm investing in. But whatever you feel comfortable with moving into as far as like investment goes, like there's no wrong answer, man, because at the end of the day, we're all playing this game and we all have a belief system that we're trying to follow that will make us some somewhat successful. And obviously, we're in it to make a little bit of money out of this. But if we could get it right, if we could just get, 1 out of 10 right, then we're doing really good, right? Because that 1 out of 10 investment may be that investment that earns you, several hundred thousands of dollars or maybe even $1 million. And if you keep doing your homework and you feel that you're moving with macroeconomics and you understand that there's a direction that you need to take and you follow that and you align with it, and then you'll start to feel a lot more confident when you talk about your project to other people because you obviously are believing it with conviction when you're buying into it. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Shout out to you guys. We have I don't know about you guys, but I have a one more day work week and tomorrow's my Friday and then it's Thanksgiving. Time to be with the family and enjoy the fruits of our labor, spending time with our family and just doing the damn thing. All right, so we're gonna jump into reactive network, guys. I've been trying to keep this one alive because I believe highly that there is essentially a lot of great um, potential that this protocol has. What is reactive network? This is the engine that watches the entire blockchain world in real time and triggers action instantly without delay. Hopefully, what's his name's not on here. He's gonna be like, it's a crap. But it's not a crap, guys. It's not. Jasmy too. Jasmy is one of the best projects that I believe um, will be successful. And what do you mean racist? Jesus. Anyways, so I am not racist. Anyways, uh, sorry about that. Anyway, so what problem does reactive network solve? Well, blockchains really don't speak to each other fast enough, and prices, transactions settle, bridges shift. Most chains respond late, missing opportunities. But with reactive network, we redefine that by building basically a system that's going to allow. Uh, I don't understand what you're saying down there. Anyways, I don't know about the racist thing, but yeah, we're gonna keep it pushing. So it basically reactive network is let me see this. Oh my god, and we're talking about this right here. Anyway, so what makes reactive network special is instead of checking every few seconds, reactive listens continuously. So it's like a neurological system, right? If you think about it, what it does is you have blockchain and then reactive senses it, execute the logic immediately, and then responds. So what does that transform into? Instant arbitrage execution, real-time decentralized finance automation, instant alerts, and risk systems, truly responsive decentralized applications. So when we're looking to gain out of reactive network is number one, we're going to essentially build a fast, interoperable system that could speak. Basically, it's a bridge between different networks, and it causes, you know, it actually brings forth a very quick transaction, right? So, in the real world essence, we're looking at it like, you have to, um, you want to send money to your family member that's in, Mexico, or, wherever they're at. I'm sorry, I keep looking at this dude. What is your problem? It's not a hotel room. Anyways, yeah, if I lived in a hotel, it'd be great. But anyway, so um so he's upset because I didn't, I don't back up the cancellation of all these visas and stuff like that. It's just not my cup of tea. I didn't really want to input in on it. This is where he's coming from. That's basically what it is. And I don't comment on stuff like that. Like I said, it doesn't affect me, like as far as like it's hard. I hate seeing people's families getting broken up because what the government decides to do, but I can't speak on it. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. So back to reactive network, we have on-chain automation without centralization. Everything runs through a modular decentralized network. That means that we won't use no middleman when it comes to uh, decentralization. There's no downtime, no censorship, or anything like that. So reactive was built for one chain, right? So it could plug into multiple ecosystems. We talked about this. Ethereum, Solana, Layer 2s, RWAs, Oracles, decentralized exchanges, liquidity pools, you name it. Cross chain watchers, cross chain triggers, cross chain automation, and then cross chain settlement. So essentially, going back to again, what reactive network is doing is basically creating a quick system for communication between different layer ones and different blockchains. All right. So a little bit of the React token valuable. It's basically utility based on actual demand. Developers must use React to pay for automations, pay for event triggers, pay for smart logic pipelines, pay for real-time data streams. More builders, more automations, then you get the more token demand. So scarcity, the token has a capped supply with continued burn pressure for automations. Integration, we have reactive willpower oracles, AI agents, trading automations, IoT systems, real world asset settlements, multi-chain transactions, real-time security. Why this matters for the future of crypto. It's basically gonna make everything so easier. And that's what it comes down to, is summarizing reactive network. Now back to this vato right here. Zora crypto. I think Zora is actually, so basically what I was reading up on Zora, I've been actually wanting to look at it. Um so with Zora, it seems like there is a social media type platform around it, with also um, a built-in payment mechanism. So when you got a exchange like Coinbase, essentially building with Zora and backing it, and there is payments in there, and I believe that that's going to be huge, right? I think it's going to be huge because You have obviously a platform that is a platform that wants to reach out to as many people as you can. You have a payment system built in it. I think that's where they really wanted X to go. But essentially, I think Base is getting the upper hand because they are already prematurely building this, and and it has a payment system inside of it. So there's been a couple videos that I've seen on it that seem to be really good, as far as Zora being one of those coins and projects that could usher in a lot of uh, social media talent, and then also having a payment system built into it. So it actually looks pretty good. You're so full of it. You lost 300K to this guy. You're crazy, bro. You need a bounce, bro. If you're coming with some funky stuff like that. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's haters. Shout out to that hater, bro. Ain't nobody lose 300K behind me. Probably it's very rare that you have 300K to invest if you're sitting here watching one of my videos, right? So, anyways, we're trying to get you there. uh we're trying to get people to that 300K level. You know what I'm saying? And following me and watching these lives is gonna get you there gracefully. You know what I'm saying? So, um this dude this dude, man, I swear. Anyways, so guys, sorry for all the confusion going on. That's my fault because I never should fall into that crap, but it is what it is. It frustrates me because you got people out there that don't really have any respect for anybody in their time and everything like that. So ZBCN, guys, let's talk about ZBCN real quick. ZBCN has been one of my favorites since it was created. A lot of people, they really doubt that there's uh they really like have a doubt that there's going to be utility behind ZBCN. But essentially, if you think about it, its focus is to provide payment rails for big infrastructure companies. So when when you take something like that and you look at ZBCN, you think of all these payment systems that big companies use. They use uh you know they use ADP systems, they use a lot of different payroll systems. But when you think about Web3 and how big companies could actually take a project like ZBCN, ZBEC network, put it to work, put it into use into big business, big corporations, then you'll understand how valuable that can be. And it's all goes back to how all these projects are positioning themselves with stable coins, right? Because they got their projects and they're backing with the stable coins, they're building the stable coins. You have for example, USDT, which Tether, which they printed a massive amount of tokens. You have Ripple, created a massive amount of stable coins. You have World Liberty Financial. That's the Trump sons and partners that created that, and they also created USD1. And then you have Japan, you have JASMY out there, and then they're building a Japanese stable coin. And then I'm assuming, I think it is, and I don't have the proof to back this up, but your XLM, HBAR, they're all uh, going into backing, I believe, USDC. And I think there's another, I don't know if it's actually Tether and USDT are tethered in USDC, but they're ISO 222. They're going to back those ISO 222s are going to be backed in the USD. and the USDT. It's so confusing, so many different names. It is what it is. I do, man. It's just crazy, bro. You're crazy, dog. You get me wild up, wilding. But anyways, so you did jack me up. Thank you. Appreciate you. Uh, whatever, fool. I'll be your daddy. Yes. It's not a hotel, man. I'm telling you, this dude is crazy, bro. I was in the kitchen earlier. I'm gonna take you a walk. I'm gonna give you a walk around my house, okay? That's what it is. But anyways, um, ZBEC network, probably one to keep on your radar, especially with JASMY, all these low market cap projects. H bar is still low. It has a high market cap, but price is still low. You know what I'm saying? Uh, price is still low. There's a lot of room to purchase that. XRP, I think, is really still low at that level. There's a lot of great projects that are in that low market cap. But you have to understand that when you're building right now in this time in this age, the most value is going to come out of the projects that are low market cap, and I'm going to keep preaching that low market cap projects, um, because that's where like I said, that's where the money is going to be made. My son's a barber. Shut up. But anyway, so that's where the money's going to be made in the low car market cap space. Um, that's my focus. That's my focus, and that's kind of where I want to try to push everybody to try to invest in and build your ecosystem in, is in the lower caps, because you're stacking these lower price cryptocurrency tokens that have massive potential. And when we do get into this altcoin bull run, that's where a lot of the return on investment is going to kick in at, is at these low caps. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to accumulate these top 10, top 20 crypto coins with high market caps is going to be tough, because they're even as far as their return on investment, they're they might only do like a 3 to 6x, but it's significant. It's a significant move from where the price is, and this is where it gets interesting, right? Because these coins can go 3x. That would essentially put Bitcoin close to $300,000. But essentially, how many of you really have like a full Bitcoin sitting in your portfolio? It's going to be the ones that invested when Bitcoin was at like 15,000, when Bitcoin was at 20,000. um, that's where the ones that are gonna make the money at. And even with like XRP, the market cap is so high that even if it does run to like a 10x, you're talking literally only about what $20 or so, um per token. So like I said, it gets a little difficult. I don't think that it would take 10 years for these lower caps to run 30, 40, 50x. And that's when you start to get, your compound in, like, uh you throw you throw in like, $1,000, then you get your 30x, then you're looking at your 30 grand, your 40 grand, on these coins that are sitting at a lower market cap. So any questions before we get up out of here? We're hitting that 30-minute mark. I see you guys want me to talk about Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a pretty cool game. Played it when I was younger. It's actually pretty cool. What is it? Team deathmatch, stuff like that. Pretty cool. Um, as far as the list goes, I don't know, man. If I'm your dad, depends on who your mom is. You know what I'm saying? So, eh, any questions? Any questions before we get up out of here? Shout out to what is your name? F Toogie 9426 F Toogie FF Toogie F Taug F Tuj Child Grashenheimer. Guys, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys check out the Patreon, check out the X. Everything is in the description. Everything is in the description. Which the list of crypto we talked about basically just to recap, we talked about Reactive Network. That's a REACT ticker, ZBCN, um ZBEC Network, JASMY, of course, Junction. Check out Junction. It's real cheap right now, and that's gonna be another render. I think Junction is on its way to becoming render. Um, you know, son, do you want me to go find you? I'll pick you up. Anyways, though it's Junction is basically gonna give render a run for its money in these AI protocols that basically um are building for GPU. I should do a separate stream for crypto instead of crypto. I've been thinking about it actually. Like, where's my long lost son? Um, Obviously, you might be my son. No, I'm just kidding, man. Um, my life is pretty simple. Work my butt off, do what I can, and get it cracking. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure you guys check out the Patreon and whatever. Duh. Ain't no player, homie. But I'm from the hood. I was born and raised in the hood, made it out, 4 kids. It is what it is. Guys, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys are liking, sharing. Let's go. Got another one coming tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. Get ready to uh 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 I don't know, like you want to follow me to my bathroom? This guy. This guy. Oh, chilling like a villain. Let's see the kitchen. Man, let me see. Ah, go. I do it. Does that look like yeah. All right, guys, take care. Take it easy. Much love to you guys. Shout out. Let's go check. Go outside for a second, real quick. Well, that's what it is. That's how we roll. Yeah, it's one of those presidential ones. Presidential suite. Guys, make sure you're liking and subscribing. You know what I'm saying? Do your due diligence when it comes to learning about the crypto space and learning, what you really need to learn to be the best at what you are and make that money. I don't know if my sensors are on. Oh, sensors on, guys. Much love to you guys. It's the hotel room. Take care, guys. Hey, have a blessed one. Have a great night. Make sure you guys follow the blueprint and we'll get it cracking some more, guys. Love you. God bless you all. Uh, I do this for you guys. 100%. 100%. Like I'm here to give you anything that I could give you, any value in crypto, whatever. See, I just keep it real. Keep it 100. Take care, guys. God bless you all.